Okay. How's it going, everyone? I'm going to be talking about glaciers. Specifically, we're going to get into Alpine glaciers. Yeah, let's go. Glaciers. Some of you probably already know glaciers are frozen rivers that are very slow moving, but they are moving. They begin to form when snow remains in the same area year-round, where enough snow accumulates to transform into ice. Each year, new layers of snow bury and compress the previous layers. This compression forces the snow to recrystallize. It'll tend to break up again in the lower parts where it meets the rock, and it'll form a sugar-like grain. And an alpine glacier is a glacier that begins in a high elevation mountain region. These tend to originate in bowl-shaped hollows called cirques. We can see one on the left here. You can see that they tend to be very deep. These can be hundreds of feet deep and carry a lot of water. When you see lines in an alpine glacier, or any glacier really, but if you see lines in a glacier, you know that means that multiple cirques have come together to form one large glacier. I just thought that was pretty cool. There are zones of alpine glaciers. A truncated spur tends to be where like an overhang of the main glacier. An arete is a rock or a ridge that forms in between two smaller glaciers moving into the main one. You can see a good example, artistic one on the right, and this would be the other one here. A horn is when a glacier or cirque has eroded a side of a mountain to make it very steep and very sharp almost. Hanging valleys tend to be smaller glaciers that move into the larger glacier. Glaciers in California, we have three ranges of perennial snow. The Trinity Alps in the north, I don't know why it's darker, but the Trinity Alps in the north, the Cascade Range, and we have the Sierra Nevada mountain ranges. The first glacier was recognized by Clarence King in September of 1870. And then John Muir identified Sierra Nevada glaciers in 1871 and even named a bunch of them. John Muir, if you're reading The Wilder Murray, you know that he was one of the first ones to do a glacier motion experiment where he put spikes in a glacier, came back the next day, and found that some of them have moved 48 inches almost overnight. And he's the first one to identify the Yosemite National Park area to be the site of an old glacier. And here he is here. That is a great Instagram picture. He talks about the cascades that he sees going down them and the lakes, or 10 glassy lakes sets near all lakes, and that's what he's referring to cirques. One of my favorite quotes, he's talking about a glacier, is here. I came upon a small stream that was carrying mud I had not before seen. In a calm place where the stream widened, I collected some of this mud, and it was entirely mineral in composition and fine as flour. Before I had time to reason, I said, glacier mud, mountain meal. It's known that glaciers are very erosive. They tend to turn what would be V-shaped streams into U-shaped valleys. And they erode a lot. So they will pluck entire boulders out of the ground and grind them up over a period of time. And they will move large amounts of earth. And by moving the earth, they also uproot a lot of great minerals that make the land downstream from them very fertile. And that's what John Muir was just referring to. I think we covered all these, yeah. Here's some points if you want to go back to anything I said. Right now, all the glaciers are receding a lot. As you can see that we've lost most of our glaciers in the Sierras by now, and which means we've also lost a lot of the mineral deposition that goes downstream from them. So it's kind of a bummer. Even in the previous picture, glaciers had to be added to the map just from historical data, so because the satellite imagery is no longer there for them. Oh yeah, here's me on a glacier. Honestly, being on a glacier is one of the most terrifying moments of my life because you're standing on ice. And you see that hole. That's not my picture, but there is a similar one where the pilot of our helicopter is like, "Wow, I haven't seen this hole before. Let's check it out." And he gets you as close to the edge of it as you can. And there's a whole fast-moving river. You can see it down there, and he tells you it goes for miles all the way down to the bottom of the glacier. And you're just standing on ice, and you could slip at any moment and just be gone in the glacier. So, I mean, it was exciting, but honestly, that was the scariest moment of my life. Just this guy holding on to me. Like, isn't that cool? Anyways, thank you for listening.